Hi Chem Gang. In this question, we're asked to find out what is the access reactant for the following reaction. Now, in the textbook, they do a lot of focus on the limiting reactant. So there has been some confusion around, okay, I can find the limiting reactant, but how do I find the access reactant? So I'm just going to go through and show you. It's fairly simple once you realize that. Of the two reactants here, we have HCl. I'm just going to grab another pen here. HCl is one reactant, and then CaOH2 is another reactant. One of these is going to be the limiting reactant, and one of them is going to be the access reactant. In other words, one of these is going to be used fully in the reaction to create water and calcium chloride, and one is going to have leftover reactant because not all of it's going to get used. So the question is, which one is the limiting reactant and which one is the excess reactant? So we're given that we're going to be using 2.6 moles of HCl to start out with and 1.4 moles of CaOH2. So what we're going to do first is find out which is the limiting reactant. And to do that, we find out how much product is made from 2.6 moles of HCl and how much product is made from 1.4 moles of CaOH. Now, you can see that on the product side of this reaction, we have two products. We have water and we have calcium chloride. It doesn't matter which one you solve for, whether it be how much H2O is made or how much calcium chloride is made. It's no big, it doesn't matter which one that we do. So for this, I think I'm going to choose the calcium chloride. And to do that, I'm going to start out with my HCl, my hydrogen chloride, and see if I start out with 2.6 moles of hydrogen chloride, how much will that make of calcium chloride? Whoops. Calcium chloride. So how many moles will that make? So to figure that out, I'm going to use my molar relationship, which is the stoichiometry relationship. I have 2 moles of HCl. So for every 2 moles of HCl, I'm going to make 1 mole of calcium chloride 2. So that's the stoichiometric relationship that I'm going to use. My moles of HCl cancel out, and then I go 2.6 times 1 is 2.6, divided by 2 gives me 1.3 moles of calcium chloride product. My next one I'm going to do is now figure out if I have 1.4 moles of CaOH2. Oops, I did that wrong. That 2 should be outside the brackets. There we go. How many moles of the calcium chloride will that calcium oxide make? Hydroxide make, sorry. So again, I'm going to use my stoichiometric relationship that says that for every 1 mole of CaOH2, I make 1 mole of CaCl2. So my 1 mole of CaOH2 goes on the bottom so that I can cancel those out. And then on the top goes my 1 mole of CaCl2. And that's going to give me 1.4 moles of CaCl2 that's produced when I have 1.4 moles of CaOH2. So in this case, my limiting reactant is going to be my HCl because it actually makes the less amount of product at 1.3 moles. So this equation here is showing me my limiting reactant. So that's going to be HCl. That means that my CaOH2 is actually going to be my excess reactant. So CaOH2. And that's because it makes the most product in this case. And so that is the answer to the question, is what is the excess reactant in the following reaction? So we're still talking about limiting reactants. We're just using that information so that we can then decide which will be the excess reactant. And it all comes down to figuring out how much product is created from each of the reactants on the reactant side of the equation. So I hope that helps clarify how you find a limiting reactant versus an excess reactant. If you have any questions, please post to the unit Q&A. Bye for now.